Good morning, students. Welcome to 6th Standard Social Science revision class. It's revision time. So let's open the revision book for Unit Test 3. So children, the Unit Test 3 portions are Geography 2nd Unit Land and Oceans and Civics 2nd Unit Achieving Equality. So children, let's revise the portion one by one. So first, let's see about Geography 2nd Unit Land and Oceans. In this lesson, we have seen about Pangaea and Panthalassa, land classification during Sangam period and classification of landforms. So let's revise it one by one. So first one is Pangaea. So Pangaea means supercontinent and the sea around it is called Panthalassa. So Pangaea means supercontinent. So all the continents are united together. All the continents are joined together. That is called Pangaea. And the sea around it is called Panthalassa. And then these two words are derived from the Greek word. So Pangaea and Panthalassa are derived from the Greek word. The Greek word Pangaea means all the earth and the Greek word Panthalassa means all the sea. So Pangaea means all the earth and Panthalassa means all the sea. Then the majority of the earth's surface is covered with water. That is 71% of the earth is covered with water and remaining 29% is covered with land. So hence earth is called blue planet because 71% is covered with water. Then the surface of the earth is not uniform. That means it is not same all over the areas. Some place we can see mountains, some place we can see oceans, deep oceans, and some place it will be plateaus. So plateaus means highly elevated portion. So the surface of the earth is not uniform. Then let's move on to classification of landforms. So landforms are classified into three orders. First order, second order and third order. Under first order, it is further subdivided into continents and oceans. So children, continents and oceans comes under first order classification of landforms. And under second order, plateaus, mountains and plains. So plateaus, mountains and plains comes under second order classification of landform. Then under third order, valleys, beaches and sand dunes. So valleys, beaches and sand dunes comes under third order classification of landform. So let's see about land classification during Sangam period, that is during ancient period. So how the land was classified. So the land was classified based on the occupation. So let's see it. First one is Kurunji, then Mullai, Marudam, Neidal and Palai. So during Sangam period, the land was classified under 5 categories: Kurunji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal and Palai. So Kurunji means mountains and its environs. So Kurunji means mountains and the surroundings comes under Kurunji. Then Mullai means forest and its surroundings. So Mullai means forest and its surroundings. Marudam means agricultural land and its adjoining areas. So Marudam means agricultural land and its adjoining areas. Then Neidal. So Neidal means sea and its environs. So Neidal comes under sea and its environs. Palai. So Palai means desert region. So Palai means desert region. So I hope you are clear with the land classification during Sangam period. So now let's see about each landforms in detail. So first one is first order landform. So as we have seen earlier, continents and oceans comes under first order landforms. So continents and oceans are grouped as first order landforms. Let's see the definition for continent. A continent is the huge land masses on the earth are called continents. So continents are huge land mass on the earth are called continents. There are 7 continents. So totally there are 7 continents and continent means huge land mass. So now let's name the 7 continents. So first one is Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe and Australia. So the 7 continents are Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe and Australia. So now let's see which is the largest and smallest continents. So among these 7, the largest continent is Asia. So Asia is the largest continent and smallest continent is Australia. So make a note of it. Largest continent is Asia and smallest continent in Australia. So it may be asked in one word. Now let's see about oceans. So continents and oceans comes under first order landform. So now we are going to see about oceans. The huge water bodies are called ocean. So huge landmass are called continents. Huge water bodies are called oceans. There are 5 oceans located on the Earth's surface. So totally there are 5 oceans on the Earth's surface. So let's name the ocean. The 5 oceans are Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean and Arctic Ocean. So children, the 5 oceans on the Earth's surface are, first one is Pacific Ocean, then Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean and Arctic Ocean. So now let's see which is the largest and which is the smallest ocean. Largest ocean is Pacific Ocean. So largest ocean is Pacific Ocean and smallest ocean is Arctic Ocean. So largest is Pacific and smallest is Arctic Ocean. So now let's move on to second order landforms. So mountains, plateaus and plains comes under second order landforms. So mountains, plateaus and plains comes under second order landforms. Let's see the definition for mountains. So a landform that rises 600 meter above its surroundings and has steep slopes is called mountains. So mountain means a landform that rises 600 meter above the earth's surface and it has steep slope is called mountain. A mountain are found in isolation or in groups. So a mountain can be single. It may be found in single or it may be found in groups. Isolation means single. If the mountains extend for a large area continuously, then it is called mountain range. So if the mountain extend for a large area, then it is called mountain range. These ranges stretches for hundreds to thousands of kilometers. So if the mountain range stretches for hundreds to thousands of kilometers. So example of mountains are the Himalayas in Asia, the Rocky Mountains in North America and the Andes Mountain in South America. So these are some examples for mountains and mountain range in the world. So now let's see which is the longest mountain range in the world. Andes Mountain in South America is the longest mountain range. So it extends about 7,000 kilometers. So Andes Mountain in South America is the longest mountain range and extends for about 7,000 kilometers. Then let's see about mountain peak. So what is peak? The highest point of a mountain is known as its peak. So peak means the highest point of a mountain is known as its peak. So highest peak in the world is Mount Everest and the height is about 8,848 meter. So children, make a note of it. Highest peak in the world is Mount Everest and its height is 8,848 meter. So now let's see about the advantages of mountains. So what are the advantages? What are the benefits of mountains? So first one is mountains are the sources of rivers. Source means the place where it originate or the place where it start. So the mountains are the sources of river means the rivers originate from the mountains. Second advantage is they provide shelter for flora and fauna. So they provide shelter for various plant species. Flora means plant species and fauna means animal species. So they provide shelter for flora and fauna. Third one is tourism is an important activity. So it promotes tourism. So the mountains or the hill station promotes tourism. So let's see some hill stations of Tamil Nadu. So first one is Udagamandalam, Kodaikanal, Kolli Hills, Erkad and Elagiri. So these are all the hill stations of Tamil Nadu. Udagamandalam, Kodaikanal, Kolli Hills, Erkad and Elagiri. So make a note of it. Next is isthmus. So isthmus means a narrow strip of land which connects two large landmass or separate two large water bodies. So isthmus means a narrow strip of land which connects two large landmass or separates two large water bodies. So I hope you are clear. It is a narrow strip of land connecting two large landmass or separating two large water bodies. So you can look at this picture. Next one is the International Mountain Day is observed on December 11th. So International Mountain Day is observed on December 11th. Now let's see about plateaus. So plateaus are elevated portions of the earth that have flat surfaces bounded by steep slopes. So plateaus are elevated portion. Elevated means not flat, above the earth's surface. And it have flat surface bounded by steep slopes. So the highest plateau in the world is the Tibetan Plateau. So highest plateau is Tibetan Plateau and it is also known as the roof of the world. So children, the highest plateau in the world is Tibetan Plateau. It is otherwise known as the roof of the world. So why it is called the roof of the world means the flat topped part of the plateau is called tableland. So it has a very large flat topped part and looks like a table. So hence it is called tableland. Mineral rich plateaus. So the Chota Nagpur Plateau is one of the mineral rich plateau in India. Therefore, mining is one of the major activities of the people living here. So one of the mineral rich plateaus is Chota Nagpur Plateau and the major activity is mining. So mining means extracting from the land. The next plateau is Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau in peninsular India is of volcanic origin. So Deccan Plateau in peninsular India is of volcanic origin. Then other plateaus are Dharmaburi Plateau, Coimbatore Plateau and Madurai Plateau are found in Tamil Nadu. So now let's move on to plains. So plains are flat land surface. So plains are flat and relatively low lying lands. So plateaus means highly elevated portion, whereas plains means flat and relatively low lying lands. Plains are usually less than 200 meter above the sea level. So plains are usually less than 200 meter above the sea level. Plains are formed by rivers and their tributaries and distributaries. So plains are formed because of the rivers, tributaries and distributaries. So tributary means the branches from the main stream. So plains are extensively used for agriculture. So why it is extensively used for agriculture? Because of water facility. So because of water facility, the plains are extensively used for agriculture and the fertile soil. So the plains soil will be very fertile. So hence plains are used for agriculture. So let's move on to the oldest civilization like the Mesopotamia civilization and the Indus Valley civilization. It flourished on the river valley areas. So the oldest civilization like your Mesopotamia as well as Indus Valley civilization, every civilization flourished near the river valley area. Why? Because the area will be very fertile. The soil in the river valley side will be very fertile and it will be used for agriculture. The Indo-Gangetic Plains in North India is one of the largest plains in the world. So the Indo-Gangetic Plain in North India is one of the largest plains in the world. So make a note of it. Then the Kaveri and Vaigai are important plains found in Tamil Nadu. So in Tamil Nadu, the important plains are Kaveri and Vaigai. The next one is deltas. A delta is an area of flow flat land and where rivers split and spread out into several branches before entering the sea. So the delta is the area of low flat land where the river split. So the river will get split into different branches before entering into the sea. So that area is called deltas. The deltas will be very productive because of the sediments deposited by the river. Then we can see about the third order landforms. So the valleys, the sand dunes and beaches comes under third order landforms. valleys, sand dunes and beaches comes under third order landforms. So next one is erosion. So children, the landforms are produced mainly because of erosion. So erosion is the main reason which results in different types of landforms. So erosion means what? It is the process of removal of the surface materials from the earth crust. So erosion means the removal of the surface material from the earth crust is called erosion. So because of the running water, the mud will get eroded from one place and it will get deposited in another place. So that is called erosion. So next one is deposition. The eroded materials are transported and deposited on the low-lying areas. This process is called deposition. So the running water will erode all the mud. It will erode all the materials and it will get deposited in the low-lying areas. So this process is called deposition. So erosion means removal. Deposition means it will get deposited. It will get settled at one particular place. So next we can see about oceans. The 3/4 of the earth is covered by water. So we have seen that 71% of the earth's surface is covered with water, which is 3/4 of the earth. So the earth is known as water planet or blue planet. So hence it is called water planet or blue planet. So the oceans are vast expanse of water. The seas are water bodies partially or fully enclosed by land. So oceans are vast expanse of water. Seas are water bodies partially or fully enclosed by land. So this is the composition of oceans. So Pacific Ocean, it constitutes about 47%, Atlantic Ocean 23%, Indian Ocean 20%, Southern Ocean 6%, and the Arctic Ocean 4%. So hence Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean and Arctic Ocean is the smallest ocean. So now let's see some definitions related to oceans. So first one is trench. So what is trench? So trench means the deepest part of the ocean is called trench. So trench is the deepest part of the ocean. So highland means the land surrounded by water on all the sides. So when the land is surrounded by water on all the sides, then it is called island. So trench means it is the deepest point. Island means the land surrounded by water on all the sides. So next one is bay. So bay means a broad inlet of the sea where the land curves inwards. So when you look at the picture, you can understand. So bay means a broad inlet of the sea where the land curves inwards. So the land curves inwards. Then peninsula. So peninsula means the land surrounded by water on three sides. So peninsula means the land surrounded by water on three sides. So next is strait. So strait means a narrow stretch of water linking two large water bodies. So strait means a narrow stretch of water. It is linking the two large water bodies is called strait. So let's see about Pacific Ocean first. So what is Pacific Ocean and what are the boundaries and what are the main islands present in Pacific Ocean? Ferdinand Magellan. So Ferdinand Magellan is a Spanish navigator. He named the Pacific Ocean. The meaning of Pacific is calm or tranquil. So who named the Pacific Ocean means it is Ferdinand Magellan. So he is a Spanish navigator. So where Pacific means calm or tranquil. The Pacific Ocean is the largest and deepest ocean on the earth. It covers about 1/3 of the earth's total area. It spreads for about 168.72 million square kilometer. So children, the Pacific Ocean is the largest and it is the deepest ocean on the earth and it covers 1/3 of the total earth's surface and it spreads for about 168.72 million square kilometer. So next is the boundaries of Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is bounded by on the west Asia and Australia. So on the west it is bounded by Asia and Australia and on the east it is bounded by North America and South America. So the boundaries of Pacific Ocean on the west is Asia and Australia. On the east is North America and South America. So now let's see some stretches. So it stretches from the Arctic Ocean in the north. So the Pacific Ocean stretches from Arctic Ocean in the north to the Southern Ocean in the south. So the Pacific Ocean stretches from Arctic Ocean in the north to Southern Ocean in the south. So the Bering Strait connects the Pacific Ocean with the Arctic Ocean. So strait means what I have told. Strait means the linking between the two large water bodies. So it is a link between the two large water bodies. So the Bering Strait connects the Pacific Ocean with the Arctic Ocean. So some marginal seas of the Pacific Oceans are the Bering Sea, the China Sea, the Sea of Japan, the Tasman Sea and the Philippines Sea. Some islands in Pacific Ocean are Japan, Philippines, Indonesia, New Zealand and Hawaii. So these are all the islands located in Pacific Ocean. Japan, Philippines, Indonesia, New Zealand and Hawaii. So next one is Mariana Trench. So trench means what I told. Trench means the deepest point in the ocean. So the deepest point in the Pacific Ocean is called Mariana Trench. So it is the deepest point located in the Pacific Ocean. Its depth is about 10,994 meter. So its depth is about 10,994 meter. So next one is Pacific Ring of Fire. The chain of volcanoes is located around the Pacific Ocean is called Pacific Ring of Fire. So the chain of volcanoes along the boundaries of Pacific Ocean is called Pacific Ring of Fire. Then we can see about the Atlantic Ocean. So the Atlantic Ocean is the second largest ocean on the earth. It covers 1/6 of the earth's total area. So Atlantic is the second largest ocean and it covers 1/6 of the earth's total area. It's spread for about 85.13 million square kilometer. So next one is the boundaries of Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is bounded by, on the west it is bounded by North America and South America. So here is Atlantic Ocean. On the west it is bounded by North America and South America. On the east it is bounded by Europe and Africa. So on the west North America and South America. On the east Europe and Africa. The next is the Atlantic Ocean stretches from the Arctic Ocean in the north to Southern Ocean in the south. So the Atlantic Ocean stretches from Arctic Ocean in the north to Southern Ocean in the south. And then the shape of the Atlantic Ocean resembles the letter S. The shape of the Atlantic Ocean resembles the letter S. And the Strait of Gibraltar connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Mediterranean Sea. So the Strait of Gibraltar. So strait means what I told. It is a link between the two large water bodies. So a Strait of Gibraltar, it connects the Atlantic Ocean with the Mediterranean Sea. So next is the Atlantic Ocean is the busiest shipping route. So the busiest shipping route between the eastern and western hemisphere is the Atlantic Ocean. So make a note of it. And then the deepest point of Atlantic Ocean is the Milwaukee Deep. So the deepest point in the Atlantic Ocean is Milwaukee Deep in the Puerto Rico Trench. So Milwaukee Deep in Puerto Rico Trench. It has a depth about 8,600 meter. So it has a depth of about 8,600 meter. So next one is the marginal seas of Atlantic Ocean. So some of the marginal seas of Atlantic Ocean are the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico, the North Sea, the Mediterranean Sea and the Gulf of Guinea. So the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico, the North Sea, the Mediterranean Sea and the Gulf of Guinea are the marginal seas of Atlantic Ocean. So next one is the islands found in Atlantic Ocean. So some important islands found in Atlantic Ocean are St. Helena, Newfoundland, Iceland and Falkland. So the islands in Atlantic Ocean are St. Helena, Newfoundland, Iceland and Falkland. So next move on to the Indian Ocean. So the Indian Ocean is the third largest ocean on the Earth's surface. So Indian Ocean is the third largest ocean on the Earth's surface. It covers an area of about 70.56 million square kilometer and it is named after India. The Indian Ocean is triangular in shape. It is bounded by on the west Africa, on the north Asia and on the east Australia. So the Indian Ocean boundaries are on the west Africa, on the north Asia and on the east Australia. So next is some islands located in Indian Ocean are the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep Islands, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Mauritius and Reunion Islands. So Andaman and Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Mauritius and Reunion Islands. Then the Malacca Strait, it connects the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. So the Malacca Strait, it connects the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. And then the Palk Strait connects the Bay of Bengal and the Palk Bay. So Palk Strait connects the Bay of Bengal and Palk Bay. Some marginal seas in the Indian Ocean are the Bay of Bengal, the Arabian Sea, the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea. So marginal seas of Indian Ocean are Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, Persian Gulf and Red Sea. So now let's see the deepest point of the Indian Ocean. The Java Trench is the deepest point in the Indian Ocean and its depth is about 7,725 meter. So Java Trench is the deepest point in the Indian Ocean and the depth is about 7,725 meter. So now let's move on to the Southern Ocean. So let's see the boundaries and the marginal seas. The Southern Ocean surrounds the continent of Antarctica. So the Southern Ocean, it surrounds the continent of Antarctica. It is enclosed by the 60 degrees south latitude. It covers an area of 21.96 million square kilometer. Then the Southern Ocean is bordered by the southern parts of the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean. So Southern Ocean is bordered by the southern parts of the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean. So next is the marginal seas of the Southern Ocean. The Ross Sea, the Weddell Sea and the Davis Sea. So the marginal seas of the Southern Ocean are the Ross Sea, the Weddell Sea and the Davis Sea. Next is some important islands located in the Southern Ocean are Farewell Island, Hearst Island and Bowman Island. So the important islands located in Southern Ocean are Farewell Island, Hearst Island and Bowman Island. So next one is the water in this ocean is very cold. So hence Antarctica is the frozen continent. So the water in the Southern Ocean is very cold and hence Antarctica is the frozen continent because it lies in the southernmost pole where it is covered with ice. Next is the deepest point in the Southern Ocean is South Sandwich Trench. So the deepest point in the Southern Ocean is South Sandwich Trench. Its depth is about 7,235 meter. Then the Arctic Ocean, which is the smallest ocean. So it is the smallest ocean. It covers an area of 15.56 million square kilometer. It lies with the Arctic Circle. And then the Arctic Ocean remains frozen for almost the year. So the Arctic Ocean, it remains frozen for most of the year because it lies on the North Pole, extreme North Pole. Then some marginal seas of the Arctic Ocean are the Norwegian Sea, the Greenland Sea, the East Siberian Sea and the Barents Sea. So some marginal seas of the Arctic Ocean are the Norwegian Sea, the Greenland Sea, the East Siberian Sea and the Barents Sea. So next is some important islands located in the Arctic Ocean are the Greenland, New Siberian Island, Novaya Zemlya Island. So Greenland, New Siberian Island and Novaya Zemlya Island. Then the deepest point in the Arctic Ocean is Eurasian Basin. So the Eurasian Basin is the deepest point in the Arctic Ocean. Its depth is about 5,449 meter. So children, make a note of all the deepest point for each ocean and also the boundaries, marginal seas and islands. So now let's move on to the most expected questions in this lesson. So first question is, which of the following is the smallest ocean on the earth? Options are the Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean and the Arctic Ocean. So the correct answer is the Arctic Ocean. So Arctic Ocean is the smallest ocean on the earth. Second question, the Malacca Strait connects the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific and Southern Ocean, the Pacific and Indian Ocean, the Pacific and Arctic Ocean. The correct answer is the Pacific and Indian Ocean. So question 3, which of the following oceans is the busiest ocean? The options are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean and the Arctic Ocean. The correct answer is the Atlantic Ocean is the busiest ocean. Fourth question, the frozen continent is North America, Australia, Antarctica and Asia. The answer is Antarctica. So Antarctica is the frozen continent because it is covered with ice. Question number 5, a narrow strip of water that connects two large water bodies are called a strait or isthmus or island or a trench. The correct answer is strait. So next is fill in the blanks. The world's largest continent, the answer is Asia. Which is the mineral rich plateau in India? The answer is Chota Nagpur Plateau. The largest ocean is the Pacific Ocean. Deltas are third order landform and the island continent is Australia. So now circle the odd one out. Africa, Europe, Australia, Sri Lanka. So the odd one is Sri Lanka because Africa, Europe, Australia are continents. Then Arctic Ocean, Mediterranean Sea, Indian Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. The odd one is Mediterranean Sea because remaining all oceans. Then plateaus, valleys, plains and mountains. So the answer is valley because valley comes under third order landform. The Bay of Bengal, Bering Sea, China Sea and Tasman Sea. The answer is Bay of Bengal because it belongs to the Indian Ocean. Then the Andes, the Rockies, the Everest and the Himalayas. The answer is Everest because Everest is mountain peak, whereas Andes, Rockies and Himalayas are mountain range. So this is the answer for circle the odd one out. So now let's move on to match the following. The South Sandwich Trench. So South Sandwich Trench is the deepest point of Southern Ocean. Then the Milwaukee Trench is the deepest point of Atlantic Ocean. The Mariana Trench is the deepest point of the Pacific Ocean. The Eurasian Basin is the deepest point of the Arctic Ocean. The Java Trench is the deepest point of the Indian Ocean. So consider the following statements and you have to find out which one is correct. Plains are formed by rivers. The South Sandwich Trench is found in Indian Ocean. Plateaus have steep slopes. So choose the correct answer using the codes given below. So the answer is 1 and 3 correct. So 1 and 3 are correct. South Sandwich Trench is not the deepest point of Indian Ocean. It is the deepest point of the Southern Ocean. Next question. Mountains are second order landforms. Statement 2 is the Mariana Trench is the deepest trench in the world. Which of the statement is correct? The answer is both the statements are true. So both are correct. Then answer in a word. Which is the highest plateau in the world? The answer is Tibetan Plateau. Second question. Name a second order landform. Mountains or plateaus or plains. Which ocean is named after a country? Answer is Indian Ocean. Name the island located in the Arabian Sea. The answer is Lakshadweep Islands. What is the deepest part of the ocean called as? So the deepest part of the ocean is known as trench. Next is answer in a brief. What is a continent? The vast land masses on earth are called continents. Name the continents which surround the Atlantic Ocean. The answer, the Atlantic Ocean is bounded by North America and South America in the west and Europe and Africa in the east. Third question, what are oceans? An ocean is a vast expanse of water. Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean and Arctic Ocean are major oceans in the world. Fourth question, List out the names of continents according to their size. So from the largest to smallest, they are Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe and Australia. Name the oceans which surround North America and South America. The answer is Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. Next is distinguish between. So children, put a tabular column for this. Oceans are vast expanse of water, example Pacific Ocean. Seas are water bodies partially or fully enclosed by land. Example Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. The second distinguishes between mountain and a plateau. A mountain is a landform that rises 600 meters above its surroundings and has steep slopes are called mountains. Mountains are found in isolation or in groups. The highest point of a mountain is known as peak. Example are Andes Mountain in South America, and it is the longest mountain range in the world. So for plateau, the elevated portion of the earth that have flat surface bounded by steep slopes. The elevation of plateaus may be few hundred meter or several thousand meter. The flat topped part of the plateau is called tableland. Tibetan Plateau is the highest plateau in the world. So you make a tabular column for distinguish between. Next is mention the classification of landforms. So it is a detailed question. Explain all the three landforms. So first order landforms, continents and oceans are grouped as first order landforms. The vast landmass on earth are called continents. Huge water bodies are called oceans. There are 7 continents in the world and you have to name all the 7 continents. Then 5 oceans, name all the 5 oceans. Then moving on to second order landforms. Mountains, plateaus, plains all comes under second order landforms. So plateaus means a landform that rises 600 meters above its surrounding and has steep slopes is called mountain. So examples are Himalayas, Rocky Mountains and Andes. Then plateaus are elevated portion. Example Tibetan Plateau and Deccan Plateau. So plains are flat and low-lying land. Example Indo-Gangetic Plain. Then you have to explain the third order landform. Third order landform are formed on mountains, plateaus and plains mainly by erosional and depositional process. Examples are valleys, beaches and sand dunes. So it is a detailed question. The next question, write a note on plateaus. So again you have to give the definition for plateaus, and then the Tibetan Plateau is the highest plateau in the world. So it is called the roof of the world. And Chota Nagpur Plateau is one of the mineral rich plateaus in India. And Deccan Plateau in peninsular India is of volcanic origin. So this is the answer for plateaus. Next is plains are highly populated, give reason. So plains are flat and low-lying land. Plains are formed by rivers with their tributaries and distributaries. Plains are used extensively for agriculture due to the availability of water and fertile soil. Plains are more suitable for human inhabitation, hence they are highly populated. So this is the answer. Then give the important features of Pacific Ocean. So first point is Pacific Ocean is largest and deepest ocean. It is bounded by Asia and Australia in the west and North America and South America in the east. It stretches from Arctic Ocean in the north to Southern Ocean in the south. The deepest point is Mariana Trench. Then the chain of volcanoes present around the Pacific Ocean, they are called Pacific Ring of Fire. Next question, write about the importance of oceans. Oceans are first order landform. 71% of the earth's surface is covered with water. Oceans influence man in various ways from climate experiences to food heat. Oceans are the major source of salt, valuable minerals, petroleum, pearls and diamonds. Ocean currents affect the climate of neighboring areas. Ocean trade plays an important role in world economy. Ocean currents can be converted into electricity. So children, make a note of this answer. It is not given in your textbook. Next is Civic Second Unit, Achieving Equality. The topics covered in this unit are the meaning of equality, definition of prejudice and stereotypes, discrimination and inequality, Dr. Bhimarao Ramji Ambedkar, Types of Discrimination, Constitution of India and Equality and Achievers. So let's revise one by one. So first one is equality. So what is the meaning of equality? Equality means ensuring individuals or groups that are not treated differently or less favorably on the basis of specific protected characteristic including areas of race, gender, disability, religion or belief and age. So equality means treating all equal without showing any discrimination. Next one is prejudice. So prejudice means to judge other people in a negative, inferior manner without knowing much about them. So without knowing about a person, judging is called prejudice. So prejudice means judging a person without knowing about them. It happens when people have false beliefs and ideas. So prejudice means pre plus judge. So the word prejudice refers to prejudgment. Prejudice can be based on the religious, race, skin color, languages, clothes, economic activities of people. So next we can move on to types of prejudice. So gender prejudice, racial prejudice, class prejudice, then disability prejudice and so on. So these are all the types of prejudice prevailing in the society. So based on gender, whether they are male or female, based on the race, based on the class and based on the physical disability. So next is causes of prejudice. So what are the causes for judging a people without knowing about them? Some common social factors that contributes to the rise of prejudice are, first one is conforming their behavior. So without knowing them, we will confirm their behavior. And next is economic benefits. So the authoritarian personality, that is the dominating personality in the society, and then the ethnocentrism, group closure and conflicts are the causes for prejudice. So next we can move on to stereotype. So what is stereotype? When prejudice gets stronger, it develops into a stereotype. So stereotype means false view or idea about something. So stereotype means a false view or idea about something is called stereotype. So now let's see some examples of stereotype. So one is girls are not good at sports whereas boys are good at sports. So this is a false view about girls. So it is an example for stereotype. Next one is gender-based stereotype. So the gender-based inequality comes under gender-based stereotype. So discriminating based on gender. For example, if you took media, girls are mostly portrayed in cooking advertisement whereas boys are portrayed in bike or car advertisement. So this is one gender-based stereotype. Next one is inequality and discrimination. So what is inequality? Inequality means difference in treatment. So treating them differently based on their caste or religion or color or their economic status. So that is called inequality. And different forms of inequality are caste inequality, religious inequality, race inequality and gender inequality. Next we can move on to discrimination. So what is discrimination? Let's see the definition for it. Discrimination can be defined as negative action towards people. So discrimination means negative action towards people. So treating them very differently in the society. So discrimination can happen on the basis of color. We can discriminate on the basis of class or race or on the basis of religion or gender, whether they are male or female. So these are all the factors for discriminating a person in a society. So next is, according to the Constitution of India of 1950, Article 15 deals with the prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, gender or place of birth. So a state shall not discriminate any citizen on the grounds of religion, race, caste, gender or place of birth. So Dr. Ambedkar is a great personality who fought against such type of discrimination. So the date of birth is 14th April 1891 and the place of birth is Mahu in Central Province, Madhya Pradesh. So make a note of it. It may be asked in one word. Next is his father and mother name. So Ambedkar parents is Ramji Maloji Sakpal, his father, and mother name is Bhimabai Sakpal. So father name is Ramji Maloji Sakpal and mother name is Bhimabai Sakpal. He is popularly known as Baba Sahib. And he was an Indian jurist, economist, politician and social reformer. He earned his MA in 1915 and then obtained a DSE at the London School of Economics before being awarded PhD by Columbia University in 1927. And he served as the chairman of drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly and hence regarded as the father of Indian Constitution. So children, here you can expect a question like who is called the father of Indian Constitution? So the answer is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He was independent India's first law minister. So another question is who is the India's first law minister? So it is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He was posthumously awarded the Bharat Ratna in 1990. So posthumously means after his death, he was given a Bharat Ratna award in 1990. Next is Nelson Mandela. So after 27 years in prison, former South African President Nelson Mandela was freed in 1990 and successfully achieved the end of apartheid in South Africa, bringing peace to a racially divided country and leading the fight for the human rights around the world. So, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Nelson Mandela, they all fought against the caste discrimination in a society. Next, we can see about types of discrimination. The types of discrimination are caste discrimination, gender discrimination, religious discrimination, socio-economic inequality. So, let's see it in detail. So, first one is caste discrimination. So, caste system is the most dominant reason for inequality and discrimination in India. So, the caste system is the main reason for the inequality in the society. So, in earlier days, that is in the beginning, the society was divided based on their occupation they are doing. So, for example, the Brahmanas belong to higher caste. They are priests and scholars. The Kshatriyas are soldiers and warriors. The Vaishyas are merchant and professionals. The Sudras are the lowest caste and they are laborers and servants. So the Varnas are, the four types of Varnas are Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Sudras. So based on their occupation, they are divided. So many people in India have fought against caste oppression. The most prominent among them was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He belonged to such depressed family and suffered discrimination throughout his childhood. He fought actively for the equality among the citizens of India. So many have fought against the discrimination, caste discrimination in the society, and one prominent is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Next is gender discrimination. So gender discrimination means based on the gender, whether they are male or female. So gender discrimination refers to health, education, economic, political. So in these departments, inequalities between men and women in India is called gender discrimination. And next is religious discrimination. So based on the religions they are worshipping. So there have been problems between peoples of different religions for thousands of years ago. So children, caste and religious discrimination is a major factor of discrimination in a society, and India is a secular country. So secular means people have the freedom to practice any religions, so without the interference of the government. And next one is socio-economic inequality. So the inequalities prevailing in the society comes under socio-economic inequality. For example, based on the income or the social class, occupational background, educational achievement, the neighborhood, all these comes under socio-economic inequality, the discrimination faced by a person in a society. And next one is, what are the remedial measures for abolishing such inequalities and discriminations in the society? So how we can abolish the discriminations in the society? So first one is wider access to quality basic services like healthcare and education for all. So first one is wider access to quality basic services like education and healthcare to all. So education is needed to avoid such discriminations in the society. And second one is be aware of current gender bias. So beware of current gender bias. So both men and women are equal. And then make women more visible in public life and institution to eradicate gender disparity. So make women more visible means we have to provide women more opportunities in every departments to provide the equality between men and women. And next one is be open to learn about other religions. So as I said earlier, India is a secular country, so we have the freedom to practice any religion, and also we must respect other religions too. So be open to learn about other religions instead of criticizing them. Next one is promoting community dining in the classroom may help the students to sit together without any bias of caste, religion or gender. So the school life, it promotes the equality among the students. And next is socialize with people of all types outside home. So we have to communicate with all other, we have to move on with all peoples other than our caste. Then effective implementation of laws. So laws must be very effective in order to ensure the equality in the society. So the Constitution of India and equality. So Constitution means a set of rules and regulations guiding the administration of a country. So Constitution means a set of rules and regulation guiding the administration of a country. So according to Article 14, it provides equality before law or equal protection within the territory of India and prohibits the unreasonable discrimination between persons. So Article 14, it deals with equality before law. So before law, everyone are equal. Whether they are rich or poor, superior or inferior, everyone are equal in the eyes of law. And next one is Article 17. So Article 17 deals with abolition of untouchability. So untouchability is abolished and its practice in any form is forbidden. So untouchability means discriminating a person based on their caste. So two parameters to ensure equality in society is, first one is respecting the diversity. So we know that India is a land of unity in diversity. So there are people, many people speak different kinds of language, practice different kinds of religion. So we have to respect the diversity. And second one is ensuring freedom. So we have the freedom to speech and then we have the freedom to practice any religion. So we have to ensure freedom. So these are the two parameters which ensures equality in the society. Next, we can see some achievers who succeeded in their life by overcoming many obstacles. First one is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, 1931 to 2015. Awul Pakir Jain Ulabdin Abdul Kalam was born in a Tamil Muslim family in Rameshwaram. He was the 11th President of India and who is fondly remembered as People's President. He completed his schooling at Ramnath, graduation from St. Joseph College, Trichy, and went on to study aerospace engineering at Madras Institute of Technology after he joined the Defence Research Development Organization. So he wrote many books like Wings of Fire, India 2020, Mission India, Ignited Minds, and then The Luminous Sparks. So he was awarded Bharat Ratna in 1997. He is called the Missile Man of India. Next is Vishwanathan Anand, was born in Chennai in a middle class family. His mother was a big fan of chess and taught him to play the game when he was just 5 years old. Anand has won the World Chess Championships 5 times in 2000, 2007, 2008, 2010 and 2012. He became the first Grandmaster in 1988. So he became India's first Grandmaster in 1988. He was the first recipient of Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award in 1991 to 92, India's highest sporting honor. He received the nation's second highest civilian award, Padma Vibhushan, in 2007. So next is S. Ilavaragi. Came from a poor family at Vyasarpadi, Chennai. His father is a daily wage earning auto rickshaw driver. She participated in 2008 World Carom Championship at Palais des Festivals, Cannes, France, and bagged her maiden women's title. Next, she participated and won the Indian National Carom Championship in the same year after beating the former world champion Reshmi Kumari. Next one is Mariyappan. So Mariyappan was born at Salem in Tamil Nadu. His mother raised her children as a single mother, carrying bricks as a laborer until becoming a vegetable seller, earning about rupees 100 per day. In 2016, at the Rio Paralympics, he won the gold medal in the men's high jump T42 event with leap of 1.89 meters. So children, these are all the personalities in the society who succeeded in their lives even though they have lot of obstacles. So equality means treating all equal and giving respect to their talents and providing equal opportunity to all in the society. So now let's see some most expected questions in this lesson. First one is, which of the following is not the reason for prejudice? Socialization, economic benefits, authoritarian personality, geography. The answer is geography. Second question, discrimination done on the basis of gender is referred to as gender discrimination, caste discrimination, religious discrimination, and inequality. The answer is gender discrimination. Question number 3, gender-based stereotypes are often portrayed in films, advertisement, TV serials, all of these. So in everything we can see gender-based stereotype. So answer is all of these. Fourth question, name the books written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. India 2020, Wings of Fire, Ignited Minds. All of these. The answer is all of these. So all the books were written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Fifth question, APJ Abdul Kalam was conferred Bharat Ratna in the year 1997, 1996, 1995, 1994. The correct answer is 1997. Sixth question, Vishwanathan Anand became India's first Grandmaster in the year 1985, 1986, 1987, 1988. The correct answer is 1988. Question number 7. In which sport Ilavaragi excels? Options are chess, wrestling, carom and tennis. The answer is carom. Question number 8. Which article of Constitution says discrimination against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, gender, place of birth or any of them is not permitted? The answer is 15(1). So 15(1) is the correct answer. Question number 9. B.R. Ambedkar was conferred Bharat Ratna in the year 1990. So B.R. Ambedkar, he got his Bharat Ratna award in the year 1990. Question number 10. As per the 2011 census, the highest literate district in Tamil Nadu is Kanyakumari. So as per the 2011 census, the highest literate district in Tamil Nadu is Kanyakumari. Next, we can see fill in the blanks. People have false belief and ideas on others is called. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born in, was the first recipient of Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, India's highest sport honor, who was the first Independence India's law minister. As per 2011 census, the lower sex ratio was in. So children, these are all the answers for the fill in the blanks. So first one is prejudice, 1931, Vishwanathan Anand, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Dharmapuri district. So now let's move on to match the following. Prejudice, stereotype, discrimination, Article 14 and Article 17. So now let's see the answer. Prejudice means judge others people negatively. So prejudice means judge other people negatively. Stereotype means false view or idea about something. Discrimination means treating someone less fairly than others. Article 14, it deals with equality before law, and Article 17 is abolition of untouchability. So this is the answer for the match the following. So now let's move on to answer the following questions. First one is, what is prejudice? So prejudice means to judge other people in a negative or inferior manner without knowing much about them. It happens when people have false belief and ideas. What is stereotype? Stereotype means a false view or idea about something. For example, girls are good at sports. When prejudice gets stronger, it develops into a stereotype. Third question, what is discrimination? Discrimination can be defined as negative actions towards people. So discrimination can happen on the basis of color, class, religion and gender. Fourth question, what are the articles that are discussing the equality in the Indian Constitution? So Article 14 and Article 15(1). So answer the following in detail. First one is, what are the causes for prejudice? Socialization, conforming behaviors, economic benefits, authoritarian personality, ethnocentrism, group closure and conflicts. So these are all the factors or causes for prejudice in the society. Second question, write any two types of discrimination. So it's on your choice. You can explain any two. Here I am giving you about gender discrimination. So gender discrimination refers to health, education, economic and political inequalities between men and women in India. For example, girl is not allowed to go to college after finished her schooling. So girl is not allowed to go to college after finishing her schooling. Most of the girls are not allowed to select a career of their choice, rather they are forced into marriage. In some families, girls are not allowed to wear modern dresses, while boys in such families often wear modern dresses. Next is religious discrimination. So religious discrimination is unequal treatment of an individual or group based on their beliefs. Religious discrimination has been around for a long time. There have been problems between people of different religions for thousands of years. Some people are not allowed to enter in public places, especially the places of worship, because they belong to another religion. Some religious people often end up in conflict with each other because of their rituals and way of life. So next is, explain the solution for the removal of inequality and discrimination in Indian society. So you can explain any 4 or 5 points. The remedial measures for abolishing inequality and discrimination in the Indian society are as follows. First one is education and healthcare to all. And next is gender bias. And third one is make women more visible in every department. Be open to learn about other religion. Promoting community dining in school. Then socialize with people of other religion. Effective implementation of laws. So children, these are all the remedial measures for removing the inequality and discrimination in a society. So we have come to an end of this revision class. All the best for your upcoming unit test 3. So children, you can refer the unit test portion videos. For that, the links will be provided in the description given below. So preparation is the key for success. So prepare well, study well and do your test well. Thank you.